ego conflict is going to come in where now he has to prove that as a man, he's fit to rule over his woman. He lost already because the woman gives you permission to rule, period. You don't come on earth and hijack the mitochondria and you don't have a consequence, no matter how long it takes for the consequence to get here. As soon as the collective of the women realize what's taking place and break from the slumber, it's over for the frauds. A lot of these guys going to be turned the F off. Period. The male population is finna drastically decrease.
It's already. The homosexuality piece is massive.
A lot of them go about to have their mitochondria turned off.
It's that crazy. And even even with that piece of just having like the truth in front of you, because I know like with Trump, what have you, we had Miss Jane Elliott on last night, and so she was just expressing that she's very afraid of what's to come in the future because Trump is so bad and my point was just like, it's always been bad. And to be honest with you, I think the shock value is that Trump is just full disclosure, full exposure in your face, right? So yes, there's nepotism, obviously. Yes, there's corruption, obviously, but that has always gone on in politics.
Okay, so why should we be more scared of this 4 years than we were his first 4 years?
Right, like what is the all of that like humdrum about? I'm just really
okay. And then not only that, do the comparative analysis for the 4 Biden years versus the 4 Trump years, and which one of them would you have running the country the next 4 years? It's no, all of the fear factors, that's directly from them people that's invading the land that don't never want us to stand up and be who we are. That fear shit don't work on me. And most of
is this country was built on immigrants and immigration, and
no, that's the lie. That we built this motherfucker. Been building it since building began because we started building here first. Before it was a building in Africa, we was building in Mesoamerica. Before it was a building in China, we was building in the Gulf.
Mm-hmm.
Before it was a building in Japan or India, we was building in Titicaca.
Yep.
So don't come over here and tell me somebody else built what we've been built. They try to take that so they could say it was no royalty on the land and that the way that the chiefs was running the land, you couldn't tell who was the leader and who wasn't because everybody word mattered. Tater matter.
Crazy. Nah, and it's like, what are y'all talking about here? And then even sorry, Nish, it's my last piece. But with 2025 coming, because I feel it like energetically, right? It does feel heavy, the energy that's around, right? It is clear as day that the only thing that anybody should be doing is moving forward, but don't do it out of fear or don't do it in fear, right? Because at the end of the day, like you were just saying, it's in your face. The information is out there. Prepare yourself accordingly. You understand what I'm saying? Like really prepare yourself accordingly. Don't let that fear kind of get into the picture because then it'll sort of shake you up. But what do you think of these natural, as we call it, disasters, like the fire that started in California?
I haven't seen any natural disasters lately.
And they, especially with California and a lot of the celebrities.
There was no natural disaster.
Yes, please talk about it.
All you got to do is go look at Hawaii and go back and look at California again. That's not a natural disaster. Then they got arsonists. They've been rounding up arsonists like they've been rounding up drug dealers. Where did they come from? Who paid them to do it? Because it ain't that many firebugs just roaming around.
And then the small bush that they showed that started this fire, this evacuation, this emergency, right? The small bush destroyed, decimated. I mean, how much land?
Whatever it is, it was planned.
It doesn't make sense. That you can't sit here and say that was a natural disaster. No.
Whatever it was planned. No. The foundation of the plan lies in the cutting back of the fire personnel, the fire department funding, cutting back on the inlet of water during what's called a drought season, right? You're supposed to be adding more water, not reducing the amount of water, right? Then you have insurance companies canceling fire insurance. They cut that whole arm off. That's a whole lot of money.
We no longer, yes.
Right? So the insurance companies is investigating what the government doing, so because they got to hedge they bet. They ain't going to never bet on the losing horse. They only going to bet on the winner. And you know, the insurance companies is quick to be like, yeah, we ain't paying that out. It was a natural disaster. Right? They didn't pay out in Hurricane Katrina. They got people in New Orleans right now still waiting on their payout.
Waiting on their payout.
Still living with their auntie and their big mama, and the government keeps sending them these letters talking about their payout coming. You ain't forgot about you, but they ain't gave it to them. And how long Katrina was?
A few years ago, I want to say 3 years ago. I forget the hurricane name, but it was deemed it qualified under a natural disaster. My house, the basement flooded really bad, and so go through insurance or what have you. And my damages came out to be like 18,500. Like I think the assessor said like 18,500, right? My insurance, my homeowner's insurance, they cut a check for 10,000, right? But because I guess it qualified under FEMA
relief, yeah,
right, that I was supposed to be able to also get get money to help pay for the damages or whatever because I qualified. Well, apparently those were lies because the requirements stated, or what I was told, was that because my homeowner's insurance had already cut the check for 10,000, that pretty much that's all you're going to receive. So I guess you can't. But even though under the requirements to apply for FEMA, even if you have homeowner, I qualified, and it was the assessor that came and was like, yeah, and apply for the FEMA. It was like, no, we can't give you any more money. So yeah, no, it's a trick. It's all trickery.
Right. FEMA right now was in the internal conflict between deep state players and tribal leadership. Tribes seized FEMA years ago, but FEMA won't be functional under the old system. The Cabal, the deep state, whatever we want to call them, the Illuminati, whatever name you want to give them, the people that's been pulling the strings still have players that need to be caught. So every time FEMA dropped a ball, they did it on purpose in order for somebody to get trapped. They know it's that before they go out, they're gonna cause maximum chaos. We already know that. We expect it. It's the same as you tell your neighbor child to get out your house and he throw a tantrum on his way out. Long as he go out, he gonna tear something up. They play on a higher level because they leave casualties and bodies in their wake when they cause chaos. They use emotionally polarizing events and sensationalism to keep people in a state of fear, which prolongs their control. Soon as we recognize what they're doing and it don't work on us no more, they can't have our fear as the source of their purpose of staying. Mm-hmm. They can't be justified with the fear no more. That's why they put fear around everything. That's called in mysticism, that's called the barrier of no pass. Because most people, when they run into the barrier of fear, they go the other way. Mm-hmm. I'm just one of them people that be like, what is this I'm feeling?
Right.
Who causing this energy to come this way?
You feel it. It's heavy. It's heavy.
And I end up on the other side of fear talking about, this ain't shit.
That's right. That's right.
It's just a whole bunch of sensationalized hype.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Niche.
I wanted to go back and talk about the I guess I could call it the reconstruction of the banking system now,
Mm-hmm.
since they want to. Because I did hear about the wanting to make the silver and gold new currency. So where would that leave, in your opinion, Rod? Where would that leave us as far as in investments, 401k, stock market? What I mean, should we take all our money out the banks, put it under the mattress?
Okay.
What should we do?
That's more of a personal preference because so many of us, like my father and them, didn't trust the stock market because of 1929. He wasn't even born yet. But that's the same excuse most of the people in the South give you why they don't trust the stock market. Most people don't trust the banks because of the outlaws, the bank robbers. They've been sensationalized as these professional bank robbers that went against the government. They was working this economic hitman to shut the local banks down. So people stopped using the banks. Big Mama shut her banks down. So this is what gave an opening for a central banking cartel to weasel their way in. We still had banks, but they was separated. They wasn't together because all of our banks used to be family banks. Every family was under a family banking system, and we didn't have centralized banking. So they wreaked terror on all of our local banks to make us shut them down because we're not going to just let you keep taking our money. So when the bank shut down, that's why some of our cousins is rich and they don't know where the money came from. They was bankers. And the family bankers, they normally tag the daughter and name her Ruth because she's the one with the heritable right of the family bank. Right? So when the new banking system emerged, it's going to be replacing the old fiat, reverse engineering the creature from Jekyll Island, the internal revenue codes, all of that stuff got to go. Everything that was complained about in the original Declaration of Independence is the same grievance that we have today. The grievance didn't even change. But ain't nobody asking why the grievance didn't change. It's still staying. That's why they never took the Declaration of Independence out of circulation. Because they letting you know that if you see these events, this is how you know you being occupied by an enemy. Right? Excessive taxation. Taxation without representation. Right? Excessive laws on the books where people can't function.
Mm-hmm.
Right? All of the stuff that we dealing with right now is the same reason why the colonists wanted to separate from England. Right? So they get a 200-year contract to do business separate from England, and England infiltrated and took them over using secret societies. Primarily the Scottish Rite. So when they come in and they do that, most of the people don't know they fighting the system with the system. That's like trying to shoot at your enemy with the gun pointed at yourself. You can't fight the system with the system that don't belong here in the first place. You ain't gonna never win. They'll tell you in a ruling that you're right, that the United States is a corporation. And when they get done, all they got to do is put this word MOOT to your arguments, and it's like you ain't never said nothing. And they do have cases on the books where somebody using the law and they absolutely right, but the judge say that the ruling is moot, and then don't give them any relief. I read plenty of those cases where they tell him he right all the way through his appeal, but then when it come time to rule on it, his arguments became moot. So they declined to issue a ruling on his behalf. That's a rigged system. They just don't want thinkers running around in the neighborhood infecting other people with some stuff called critical thinking. Because then we start seeing cultural behavior being criminalized by a foreign agency or system. So we got to reverse engineer everything that was done coming into this mess. We had to see it going out. Now we at the 1776 mark, where the Republic was taken over between 1776 and 1783 with the secondary constitution. This is the struggle to get us from under the Admiralty back under the Republic jurisdiction so that they can surrender it back to tribal jurisdiction, the great law, the law of the land, aka the common law. And then the tribal courts be reenacted, and you had chiefs that's presiding in the tribal court according to his ability to administer law. And the best person for the job is who gets the job.
That's something. That is something. Now I'm gonna ask this question because I know this has been going. I'm gonna move me down here so you can see, and then as we go along, I'm gonna move it over because for some reason this sign is up here and it's stopping us from being seen. So I'll move it around as we go around. Once my question is asked, I'll move niche back. Okay, right. I'm predicting, and I'm gonna say it, that we're gonna have some crap going on. And the reason why I'm saying it is because my mortgage company sends me a statement with $200 extra on my mortgage. And so, okay, I'm like, is this a late fee? I'm trying to figure it out. What's going on? Where is this $200 coming from? Well, they done put up the taxes and the home insurance. I don't know if you experienced it yet or what have you, but around the globe, I started asking people, did your mortgage go up? My mortgage went up $200, not $50, not $200. And that's the reason why I'm saying that we are going to have an issue, because they're saying because taxes went up and they have to charge us more now for mortgage. Eggs, $7. And I'm sorry they have to keep saying it, but it frustrated me so bad this afternoon in the supermarket. You don't find that to be like weird out of nowhere, saying the property value went up in my house. I got too much equity, all kinds of stuff, anything to push it up to that $200. And it's almost like no way around it.
You got to ask them to show you where in the contract you agreed to them to be able to raise your mortgage without notice.
And then I find, and I don't know if anybody knows this, it's called tax assessor. I call them, right? For some people, you can be exempt from tax. I never knew this, but in arguing with the mortgage company, they said, yeah, my mortgage went up. So I don't think it's at a fixed rate, because for some reason it can go up. I just read something in the chat. But you can be exempt from some taxes. So they just sent me the application to have me exempt from some certain taxes in this area. And it also includes what area you live in as well. If you live in a somewhat nice area, they'll start putting these taxes on you. Like, what the easy? So I'm just saying, I think that everybody that's experiencing that should check that.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's an issue.
Okay, and now what happened when the rollout comes for the collapse of the banks? The bottom falls out of the mortgage industry. They already been told both auto loans and house loans, where mortgages are, have been already instructed to find ways to liquidate those mortgages. In other words, get that property to them people and stop making them pay. But they're not going to do it until they forced to do it, because they still believe they running something. They're not running nothing no more.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they gonna raise your mortgage. They might do a whole bunch of other stuff. That's part of the chaos.
Right. I'm going to look into the fixed rate situation because that don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Under,
Sorry, go ahead, Brett.
yeah, under fixed rate, they're not supposed to be able to raise your mortgage, especially without your consent. They normally give you a MOU, memorandum of understanding, to sign as an addendum to the contract.
I know I'm going to look into the rate situation come Tuesday because schools and everything is closed on Monday. So I'm going to look into that because I don't know what's going on. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I think what's happening is that, right, so a lot of people put in the, hey, Sakina, baby, about the fixed rate or adjustable rate mortgage. So yeah, for sure. So like, make sure you should know if you have like an adjustable rate mortgage, which means that depends on the interest rate, it fluctuates, right? Or your fixed rate. Like I have a fixed rate mortgage, but my payments definitely increase because of the homeowner's insurance. Yes. That's what they get you. It's not that right. So the my monthly payment increased because of the damn homeowners insurance. And then what they do is remember I was telling you a story about me flooding or whatever. So I got a notice a few months later at the end of the year.
Did they make you get the flood insurance? Did they make you get that?
I already had it in my policy. I was already paying for that. That's how I was able to get the check for $10,000 in my homeowners insurance. But what they did was because they cut the check, gave me the $10,000. They increased my homeowners insurance, which increased the overall monthly payment. So that's how it kind of went up. But yeah, it's crazy.
Which is penalizing you for utilizing your insurance.
The money that I'm paying.
Exactly.
They do that because what they're trying to do is
it just went up because of the taxes, and then they had the nerve to say that they came around, checked my house, and the value of my house went up. So if you bought your house at $150, now my house is worth like $340.
That ain't supposed to affect your mortgage. That ain't what you didn't get a loan for that.
Sure enough, letter.
Yeah, but
that was in my letter.
Yeah,
yeah, but okay. So let's say in 1973, the house I'm in was a $30,000 house.
Yes. Oh.
But right now, listen. Right now, the house is $107,000 house. Okay, now if I had got a mortgage back in 73, they can't adjust that rate for me to be paying today's prices when that wasn't what the market was when I purchased the property. They taxing on the inflation for the dying dollar. The dollar don't have the same value. It's not that your property went up. The value of the dollar went down. So in order for them to even keep something close to what they're using you to patch them holes.
Yes, that's how I feel. Exactly.